Hey guys, it's Liam Caddison here with the reaction for Charmed, episode 13 of season 7. Basically part 2 of the episode from last week. Because, we ended on that, I guess you could say, big cliffhanger. So, and of course the events of the last episode roll over into this one, and it gonna be juicy. So, of course, you can check my links for the reaction in the description below or the comments pinned below. And be sure to comment on this video, give the algorithm a bit of a push. It's, quite the big episode, so with some, I guess, big ramifications. But episode 13, season 7, pretty massive stuff. So I'll see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction, and until the next time, toodles. With the events of this episode, obviously I had a feeling that Utopia would be undone, but seeing the level of horror, I would say, from the avatars that they inflicted into the world was just... I mean, here's the thing. Of course, people are going to speculate, well, the concept of utopia, and that's it, though. There are good intentions with a pain-free world and all of that. The problem is free will. That is a complete... it's like that humans have been completely eliminated, and they've just been replaced by drones of the avatars' ideology, really. There is no way that people can live truly, and so I mean, I guess that was already the case anyways by inflicting utopia and that, but just seeing like anyone who causes conflict wiped from the face of the earth, and they've moved on to a better place. But it's like, when it comes to grieving and all of that, it's like whenever something bad happens to the person that dies, there is no room for grief, there is no room for mourning, and that's natural. I mean, the idea that it's okay, they moved on to a better place is all well and good on that, but when you eliminate the fact that someone can't grieve and all of that, it's just messed up. So, and there is going to be that elimination of pain, but pain and it defines us, and all of that. I'm just thinking back to what Sarah Jane Smith said in Doctor Who's School Reunion, about how pain and all that, it makes us who we are, essentially. So, and it's just really difficult because, like I said, it goes with and how the avatars enforced this in the last episode. This point really drives it still exists, is the point about the fact that they had good ideas. It's just a bad execution, right? So, because that's it, though. When it comes to what kind of, I guess, despair goes on around the world, it would be nice to live in a world without the constant civil war that is always going to be a factor when it comes to humanity. There is always going to be, like, all of these, like, issues and all of that. And whilst eliminating them is, something that would be just grand and all of that, it's just, it's just done in a very appalling way, really. So, like I said, you can live, you can picture an idea where we don't live in a world of hate and all of that, but it's just not possible when it comes to the avatars. So, and you can see why the sisters had to resort to siding with Zanku at the end of the day, because there's always going to be there always has to be that balance in the end. And of course, this whole idea of utopia, it's appetizing, sure, but when the bad is being blotted out your memory, and when well, not so much memory, but when you are when there is a wall from you reacting to bad things happening, like death and all of that. That blocks your ability. That creates an inability to react properly. It's just really messed up. I mean, you can still, like, surely you can still live in a world of peace and prosperity, but still be allowed to grieve, for example. So, and it was just really, really horrific. Just for Piper to not react in the way that she would react. So. And it's like, when it comes to, like, people disappearing and moving on to a better place, as they dub it, you just think about how people grieve and how people grieve in their own way and all of that. But the avatars inflict on a one-way grieving policy, and that is just that acceptance. Oh, they've moved on to a better place. And again, it blocks the inability to grieve normally. So, yeah, but. It's just a flawed system at the end of the day, but yeah, it's just it is just really, really messed up. Nobody has that free will. You can't really afford to mess up too many times, which is fair enough. Like, if you're see. Here's the thing, there's going to be a lot of people eliminated as well, because you've got so many people in jail for heinous shit that they've done and all of that. But yeah, I mean, you're allowed to deviate away from happiness. And again, it's not just the grieving, but it's just deviating away from happiness and all of that. I think it's just natural at the end of the day to have moments where you just deviate. So... Like, what happens if you're cranky as well? Like, you're cranky a lot of the morning, you're just very fatigued and all of that. It's okay. It's just part of the process, so. But no. It was just really, really... I mean, I just had a feeling that Leo would be the key, especially with that conflict he had in the last episode. He would be the key to undoing all of this. And he was, because he was the spark for everyone of the Charmed ones to kind of process things properly. So when he sacrificed himself, it was an act so Phoebe could remember the losses, and it's supposed to hurt, etc. And then, of course, she was able to kind of get Piper to realize Leo's gone and all of that. And the whole idea for this was for you and Leo to live, and, you know, that's basically eliminated because Leo wasn't really liking this, how they approached this whole situation in the first place. So, yeah. And of course, with Paige, should I say, yeah. It's like she wanted to cry, but she couldn't. And there you go. It's that wall at the end of the day, and it's just messed up. So... And my heart broke for her when, of course, the avatars were reluctant to reset the world back to just before Utopia, but they couldn't undo Brody's death. My heart broke for her, and you could just feel her pain really in that moment. So it was, you know, just seeing Paige just break at the prospect that they can undo all of this. It's essentially the snap all over again. Infinity War Endgame. They can undo everything like that. Everyone that got caught up in the snap, but they can't undo the deaths that came before the snap. If you know, you know, of course. But yeah, and it's just you just feel so bad for Paige. But it's okay though, because he did become a white lighter. My only problem is, Leo could stick around. I mean, that's it though. Leo, yeah, he had years as a white lighter and all of that. So, but and you know, with Kyle, he was able to become a white lighter, and he's just new at this, so maybe he can't stick around. But still, I mean, there is this opportunity for Kyle to, I guess, essentially live again, but at the same time, he can't be with Paige, so it's like, yeah. So, but at least he got that reward from the elders. They knew, they saw that what the avatars was doing with, like, I mean, they were we knew they were pretty much against what the avatars were doing, and Kyle being an advocate to stopping that, and essentially being a key piece in terms of weakening them was like he helped save the world in a sense, so they had to give him a reward. So, but what are they gonna do with Leo? Because I think Leo's powers are gonna go bye-bye. So, because that's the thing, though. I mean, I wasn't sure. Like, I mean, obviously he got, he vanished and all of that in Utopia, and then he got brought back. But I don't know. I don't think the avatars undid his avatar abilities and all of that. At least we didn't see that transpire on screen. But the elders are absolutely going to be hammering this guy to death. So, yeah, he is definitely losing his abilities, I feel. Yeah. But yeah, I didn't feel like a sense of finality when Leo vanished and all of that. I mean, he even said he knew what he was doing. He did have this conflict, and yeah, he needed the charmed ones to, I guess, wake up, to step away from the Kool-Aid juice and that. So yeah, and then of course Phoebe had that moment where she remembered the losses. Yeah, I mean, of course, when you went through the flashbacks and all of that, I wasn't expecting to see Prue because, behind the scenes stuff and all of that, and of course it does hit with Shannon's demise, of course, or with Shannon's death, should I say? It does, hit a bit more with Shannon's death, and that's still something that does really, really hurt. So yeah, but it was like I said, Leo was going to be very instrumental, I feel like, in undoing Utopia, and he was. So he was like he planted the seed of doubt. Remember? Yeah. So Leo was able to blossom that, I guess, within the charm ones. Yeah. To the point where they had to go to Zanku and, enemy of my enemy kind of thing, right? So it's a pick your poison, because, both situations sucked, didn't it, in terms of what world would they prefer? Because that's it, though. And again, yeah, peace and all of that. No war, no detrimental effects. But, free will at the end of the day is not something that they need banishing. And the way, like I said, the way that the avatars constructed Utopia, on paper it sounds rosy, but executing it, no. So, yeah. So, yeah, it was really, really, great stuff to go through this. So, yeah. But yeah, it was just very, very interesting to see how things would get undone in this second part to what the last episode had. So yeah, and at least when it came to the avatars, they would they didn't put up a resistance or anything like that. That was my main worry. But they have a bit. It seems like they have a bit of patience and all of that, and they understand. Yeah, the charmed ones aren't ready, etc. So, some people might feel like it might be anticlimactic in terms of how this whole thing was done. But again, it's interesting because the avatars are not done in the same way, in the same manner as your demons and all of that. They're supposed to be represented like a force of good. Again, good intentions, bad execution. And that's it at the end of the day. Their intentions, they don't want to cause... They do have their flaws. I think they like to believe that they're trying to do a force of good, and then they don't mean any kind of ill will. But by removing people who cause a bit of conflict by removing free will, they are creating so many flaws for themselves, and they're not really scoring themselves any good points, really. So yeah, but it is a very, very, like, well, it's not just a very, very interesting dilemma when it comes to the avatars, but Zanku himself is just a very, very interesting villain as well. And I am really, really loving his characteristics since we first, of course, saw him. So yeah, but yeah, it was a really, really it was a really, really amazing way to, I guess, kind of conclude this whole thing. So yeah, and I'm very intrigued to see what the second half of season 7 will bring us. So yeah, but yeah, with that said, I will see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. You can check my videos on the right if you want to check out more of my content. You can also subscribe to my media feeds and channel if you want to. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. Hope you guys take care, and I will see you guys next time. Toodles!